Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to another NerdTube Star Trek episode review. We're here this week talking about Starfleet Academy Season 1, Episode 6. Come, let's away. I am joined by some fine Trekkies in arms this week. I have Zam to my right. How are you, good sir?
I'm fine, thanks. I'm very much looking forward to talking about this.
Oh yeah, a lot to unpack this week. Below him is Lord Donkey, firmly on the side of Team Kyle. How are you, sir?
Absolutely. It's the ship. It's the ship that must sail. It's the only ship I
Absolutely.
care about in the show. I'm good. I enjoyed the episode. Let's get into it.
Excellent. And to his left, we have cousin Cheeto. How are you, boss?
Good. Can't wait to talk about. Let's away. Come, let's away.
Oh, Lord. Can't take you anywhere.
Right? If I have to explain the joke, it's not funny, Donkey.
You're gonna get us canceled, Cheeto.
Whatever. Everybody comes, Donkey. Well, at least for the most part, you know.
So we've got a lot to talk about this week. Very dense episode. We've got 3 big plot threads to look at. I'm going to try to organize it by those instead of by chronological order
A full
for this
60
episode.
minutes this week. Like it wasn't
Yeah.
like a 40, 45,
Rampage.
50. It was over 60 minutes this week.
Yeah, and for once I wasn't checking how long was left.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with some overall impressions. Maybe let's start with Zam. What were your overall impressions of this one?
It was one of those as Cheetah would say, we got a pew pew episode, you know, and I don't mind that. I sometimes forget that Star Trek needs to be edge of your seat, entertaining at times. It's not all about the philosophical stuff. This is also a significant. Oh no! Don't shit on me, please, baby. This is also a show that is about entertainment, and I felt we got a very adequate, entertaining, off the seat frills, spills, and all of that episode, and there was a lot that came from it. And what I also liked about this episode, just 2 more things, is that some episodes tend to be focused on a significant character. This was focused on several characters, which I do like. So everyone has a part to play, and and we are getting spoilers here as well. But I think this is something that not enough shows do often enough, which is why it's a rarity. But the bad guy won, and we need more of that in our shows. Bad guys need to win way more often. It's very interesting to see it from that perspective, and I like that, and it was great to see that in Star Trek as well, which we don't get enough of. Usually our good guys figure out a way of getting out of the conundrum, but this time around they got played, and I enjoyed the result, the finale, and all of that good stuff.
Okay, Donkey, what are your overall thoughts about this week's installment?
Yes, this was very much an Empire episode, wasn't it?
I almost made the comparison
more Kirk
myself.
than Picard. I did like the pew pew episode. It kind of started off with our standard, like, we're going on an away mission, like a team building exercise. It felt like between the War College and Academy, that we're going on this team building away mission together. And as soon as they announced, oh hey, some of you are going to go over to that ship all by yourself. Okay, so they're going to lose communication. They're going to lose teleporter ability, and something's going to happen. So that part was predictable at the beginning. But other than that, I think it flowed really well. There were some nice twists. And on top of the pew pew, some significant character deaths, which...
Well, and character development.
Yeah.
In development, sure. But deaths, like we had a touch of Game of Thrones in this episode, with not the main cast, but close to it, which I thought was interesting. As soon as I realized that all hell's gonna break loose, and somebody's gonna die. somebody important on our cast is going to die, and boy, there were a lot more deaths though at the station. So anyway,
All right, and Cheeto will end with.
So this will not be much of a surprise at all, but I really like this episode. I did feel like the beginning really was not. I don't feel like that was necessary to like kick off the episode. I thought it was a little bit too graphic for Star Trek, in my opinion. Not that I don't think that there should be sex, but at the same time, it's like I don't know. Like Star Trek,
keep it a bit more minimalistic. You need to like get that graphic.
Even if you would have just shown them in bed, like naked, like in the beginning,
We get
like,
the idea.
we get
we
the
not
idea.
Seen this in Trek before.
And I mean, listen, it was actually kind of sweet when they were sitting there talking, and they were in the field of flowers, and inside, her mind and all that. Like that's fine. I don't mind all that. But like, the actual set, I'm like, Trek just needs to back off of that. Like, it just doesn't. And to me, it just doesn't work in Trek. You want to do it in like Game of Thrones or something, like when it like where like you have like this standard that you can set. That's fine. But Star Trek set the standard a long time ago. That just like that kind of like, I don't want to say gratuitous, but like that kind of just, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but like that level of
Flagrant,
so that was
maybe?
that, but,
Flagrant, maybe.
Yeah, maybe like, but yeah, just besides that, I really, really like this episode. I as we break it down, I'll talk about why, but like there's a lot of good stuff in this episode. And yes, it is a pew pew episode, but also like Donkey was saying, like there is a lot of character like progression here. I would push back and say I don't feel like the deaths were that impactful. Like I honestly feel like I didn't even know what the Vulcan's name was before he died. You know what I mean? Like
Apparently it was Bobby.
Yeah,
Bobby the Vulcan.
No, but I just want to quickly say regarding that, when watching Jessie Gender's review, she made a really good comment saying that here's a character who we were just getting to know. I mean, they weren't focusing on this character fully, but we were just getting to know, and they take him away from us, which I thought was a really good way of like making like a shocking death. So to speak.
Don't get me wrong. I don't mind the death. I'm not sitting here saying, oh, they shouldn't have done that. I'm just saying, like, I don't think it was that impactful. I mean, maybe it was impactful for Caleb, maybe a little bit, or but like, just because they had kind of started working together. And I mean, like the War College and that, like, if the War College and them had kind of already been on good terms, like for a couple episodes, maybe, maybe this would have been more impactful. But it feels like they just kind of like buried the hatchet like this episode, and now all of a sudden it's like,
no, I disagree. I like the fact that they are. Yeah, they have issues with each other and they're pranking each other. But right now, they are allies against a real common enemy, and anything they had against each other has to be put aside immediately for the sake of their safety. So I didn't see any issue with that whatsoever. They were always going to be on the same team when it came to that.
Yeah.
So I see it from that perspective.
Okay, well, I mean, as I said, it wasn't too bad. It was, as I said, a minor gripe, like on the scale of things, it's very, very minor. And then the other thing was I was so hoping this wasn't going to turn out to be like that Strange New Worlds episode where it was like this offshoot of like a human like colony that like became deranged or what. Like, I'm so glad they didn't do that. Although they did say it was a mix of
terrible, yeah.
Well, although they did say it was a mix of humans and something else, and I was like, oh no, please tell me we're not doing this.
Human alien hybrids and stuff.
Yeah,
I call them the Dementors from fucking Harry Potter.
I mean, they do look like that. So anyway,
yeah.
But anyway, so overall though, a great episode.
Great episode for sure. But I'm gonna agree with Cheeto on the death of Bobby. They kind of Joss Whedoned him a little bit. It's like when Hawkeye and Quicksilver finally got buddy, and 5 minutes later, Quicksilver does the noble self-sacrifice. Put me in mind of that, at least.
No, I didn't think of it, but that's a good comparison right there. It was like, yeah.
Do we want to read some of the comments, or are they good just up there?
I like the comment of pew pew in the bridge and pew pew in the bedroom. You damn right. And also, I quickly want to add that it reminded me. I got flashbacks of Star Trek Nemesis, where Riker and Troy were getting it on, and
that's what I'm saying. Like, and that didn't work in that movie either. So I'm like,
but by that time they were fucking grandparents. You know what I mean? Yeah, they was fucking old. But
It's like, well, yeah, it's like watching your grandparents have sex. It's like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I can't say I've had the. You know what? Never mind. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Grandparents.
So the episode starts with the plot thread of Caleb and Tarima, and we can kind of breeze through that and then get to the meat and potatoes of the episode, though their bond is a key plot device for this episode.
Which is kind of where I knew this was going. Like, you know what I mean? Like, once they were starting to bond more, I'm like, oh, this is gonna. I didn't know if it was gonna come into play this episode or later, but like as Zam said earlier, I think Zam said that the inhibitor device was eventually going to come into play. You know, which
it definitely. First time I see it, like, okay, when is that gonna come out for plot reasons?
Yeah,
absolutely. So we had this intro that we've already touched on a little bit. To me, the more egregious thing was the use of the modern song. That kind of, I don't like when they use contemporary music in Star Trek, with the exception of Faith of the Heart.
Then did you think that, what's the bad guy's name again? He's Paul Giamatti. I know his name.
Noose Braca.
So then when Noose Braca kept using all those modern terms when he was talking to Holly Hunter, you know, like did that become egregious? Because that's kind of the same argument. Huh?
That's the universal translator at work.
Oh, the fist
Which
bump,
one of us is the fist bump for?
Who's the fish guy in Genesis? They fist bumped.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Ramus.
I mean, fist bumps can be a thing.
Fist bumps survived into 31st century.
I mean, we all still have hands.
That's comforting.
Like, you know, like. Anyway, okay. Sorry, Mage. Back on track, but still, I derailed us again.
How dare you? How dare you?
I am contractually obligated to have at least 3 or 4 derailments in each review.
It's in writing. I've seen it. But no, the part with the cuddling in the field of flowers was cute. It's a psychic projection, but then Caleb sees the bear from his childhood, and she goes into his mind instead of the other way around, and they see the last moments with his mom again. Caleb gets upset and sticks his foot in his mouth as usual, and then Tarima gets upset too.
I don't understand her getting upset. Like, I understand Caleb being upset because it's kind of a personal violation. Not that it was intentional. So I understand him being like very like, whoa, 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 you know? But like, I think that she was just very dismissive when he was, you know, when he's like, look, he's like, I'm sorry. It's just, I don't talk about, like, this is how, and again, these are like teenagers, like, you know, like young 20s.
No. Oh, he's 21 years old.
No. Okay. That's what I said. Hold on. I
don't know how old she is.
Late teens, early 20s. You know, because there are some of them that are teenagers.
I look at them as young adults.
It's that teenage attitude is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Like the teenage attitude where it's just like, you know, oh, you know, you got mad at me for a legitimate reason. Like you got upset, not at her, but you got upset for legitimate reasons. And now I'm going to be upset with you because you got upset. And it's like, okay, teen drama. Got it. You know, like
the weird Betazoid comment.
Cultural differences as well. Like, you know, sometimes you forget, you know, what you might be doing could be violating because she's a Betazoid. You know, they're telepathic, you know, empathic alien beings. That's how they operate. And she was lost in the lust of the moment and stuff like that. You know, you almost forget, you know, what you can and can't do with maybe somebody who's totally different to you.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
I was just going to say that Star Trek characters have a tendency to be a little ethnocentric at times, but it's part of the parable.
I was going to say, just ask Harry, Kim, and Trip Tucker. I mean, how many times have they mated with other species with consequences? Just saying.
All Trip did was stick his hand in some goo.
Hey, that's mating.
He was a perfect gentleman.
You guys don't do that on the first date?
At least it wasn't salamander babies.
Got inspired at Zam.
Like 4 of Voyager, man. That they really buried the lead on that one.
But no, do we have any other thoughts about that scene in the intro?
Well, look, I think they wanted to reconcile very quickly what happened, but they had to go straight to school, so they never really got a chance to say, you know what, let's just move on from this, and all that. But they, but they didn't have enough time, so they had to go straight to school. But that's how it goes sometimes.
Ginger's always sticking his hand in my
Oh
stuff.
my!
There's a couple of things Vance has said, but I want to speak about it a little bit later.
Okay.
So fast forward to later, and while they're reading the comic book through the computer, and Tarima connects psychically with Caleb.
Star Trek comics and Star Trek.
At least it wasn't the swole Picard look from the late 80s.
Swole Picard.
I would have marked out for it. So here's my question about that, though. So, like, this ship that they're going to, the Mitsubishi, whatever it's called.
The
Miyazaki.
Yeah.
Like, what era is that ship from? Is that from TOS
That's
era?
a great question that they should have answered.
Old, apparently.
Well, they said it was only 100 years old, but yet in the comic they had TOS uniforms on, and the bridge was.
Yeah, I noticed that
and
too.
the bridge
I wanted
was.
to bring it up. Yeah,
the bridge was the Enterprise bridge from Strange New World. So I'm like,
oh, is it?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I don't have a problem with any of that. But then why are they like, well, this ship has been, here for 100 years or something? And I'm like, did I miss something? Like, is this actually?
Well, how long ago was the burn? 150 years?
Yeah, like 120 or something like that, or 150 something.
It's around 100 years old with an experimental replacement for warp drive. Then that would make sense.
No, maybe
but the comic doesn't. Yeah,
maybe it's been there for like 100 years, but it's not necessarily 100 years old. It could be older. It's hard to say.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I didn't know if you guys caught something that I didn't, because I thought in the speech somewhere they were talking about it being there for 100 years. But I'm like, this ship seems way older than 100 years old.
Regarding the TOS uniform, the only benefit of that I'm going to give is that it looks, because it's a comic, it looks pretty much like the TOS uniforms, but they could be similar, but still be different.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. Yeah, I mean, they change uniforms now every 5-10 years. So just to keep those people buying uniforms, Vance Major and all the fan film creators
forever.
Well, they kind of do it in a way of showing different periods of time, which is something that kind of they accidentally stumbled upon in TNG.
Well, no, it's actually really funny is because they implied that the Monster Maroons were around for 100 years. They went from the TOS uniform to the Monster Maroons. Those were there for until the very right before the start of TNG. So there was all of these Monster Maroons apparently were the favorite of Starfleet for a long time.
And they're so heavy and uncomfortable. Don't know if you guys have ever worn a Monster Maroon, but it's a heavy uniform.
Unfortunately,
actually, Discovery kind of changed that, because Discovery, they were wearing more Enterprise style uniforms. They were wearing blue and shit.
Discovery takes place before TOS.
Yeah, I know, but it's also after the Monster Maroons.
No, it's not. Monster Maroons were from the movie era, from the.
Oh no! You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm so sorry. I take that back.
It's okay.
We'll give you a pass.
Discovery does also take place after.
It is.
Damn,
it is 12:52 in the morning. We'll give you a pass. We'll give you a pass. That's okay, dude.
Yeah.
Damn.
Speaking of though,
Phaser away.
We got a reference to Discovery in this episode.
We did.
We did. They like to make their little nods
it's
to
done
it
with
still
its
being in commission.
It's real quick done with its refit.
Well, that's.
I personally.
Go ahead, Sam.
Okay, go on. No, you go.
I was just gonna say, that's what I don't understand about the refit, because the refit's not supposed to happen until years later when they send Discovery to canonize the one's short track. You know what I mean? So the refit, because they defit actually the Discovery to make the short. They do. They defit it at the end of Discovery. So it's I maybe there was another refit that they did on it, Discovery, and so now it's even better. or were they referencing the defit? Just they called it a refit, but it's like then Discovery went off.
This takes place right after season 5, so
yeah. The end of
it's just another upgrade or something, or
because the end of end of Discovery takes place several years later, like what, a decade or two later.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
she's old. Yeah. Her and Booker T. But listen, I personally, in scenarios like that, I would love to see Discovery more. We don't necessarily have to go on board the ship or whatever. Like, it's just there as a symbol of, like, as a symbol of, okay, look, we're coming to assist you.
Like when
there's Discovery.
When all the ships came in with the Klingon episode, Discovery could have appeared just in the background and not overshadowed.
And then we could, if we wanted just to really give us a bit of, like, fan service, then we could just have a view screen of whoever the captain is or whatever that may be, whether it be Michael Burnham or maybe one of the other members of the crew who have now been promoted as captain or whatever it may be. I think
Burnham's still the captain at this point, because I think they do mention earlier in this season about Captain. I think they mentioned Captain Burnham still. I think.
Yeah. So something like that would be fun, because it's not about them, it's about these other guys. So I wouldn't want them to take up too much time. But the fact that they are still around and they're probably one of the most significant ships of the staff of Starfleet, that has to be recognized.
I wouldn't mind there being like a crossover episode like next season. Like, I agree this season we don't need it because you don't want them overshadowing the first season of this crew, but next season I wouldn't mind a crossover episode where Discovery shows up for something. Like, there's some collaboration that they're doing with the cadets, blah blah blah, and like the cadets,
they work on the ship for a while, like for a day or two,
or if, like, there's like, okay, we're doing this collaboration, you're going to be paired up with Stamets, if they bring back 2 or 3 characters from Discovery, from season 5 of Discovery, and then you kind of link up, a couple of our cadet characters, or whatever. Or maybe there's something that's so far away that, like, they have to go over to Discovery to, like, then, teleport. What is it called? Spore drive. Is it Spore drive?
Black alert.
Spore drive.
No, does it still work, or did it stop working at the end of?
I don't know, but Booker T was able to do it as well, so
yeah.
The only 2. Look at me getting myself on a tangent.
I know, right?
It happens to the best of us, Donkey. Happens to the best of us.
Good evening, Rick B.
Welcome to the stream, Rick B. Thanks for joining us. Okay. We cut back to Kelrick and Ake, and they go where Tarima is giving them the information about the away team status, and she asks to help via her connection with Caleb. And this is where we get the lore dump that she's the one who caused her father's hearing loss when she lost control.
No, not hearing loss. He lost his vocals. He can hear because they were communicating verbally to him. Speak, which is why he sign languages.
The speech center of his brain. That's what she said.
Speech. I was gonna say it was something to do with his brain, I thought, but yeah. They said they blew out his.
Yeah, I watched a couple of reviews and they all kind of mentioned the fact that it was his vocals that was affected, but he's still her father, and regardless of her fucking him up permanently for the rest of his life, he still loves his daughter. Yeah.
And by the way, Rick B made it here just in time to shit on Discovery.
At least we know he's feeling all right. He's acting like himself.
Rick B, you must have liked this episode.
He didn't like this episode.
Come on. It's new Trek. He's going to hate it on principle.
He's the glutton for punishment, isn't he? Oh, I hate this show, but I'll fucking watch every episode.
It's true. All right.
You gotta have something to complain about, Get through the day.
Oh, and Steamboo.
We got Be Gone, Twitch bot.
I can't get rid of it from here, so unfortunately it's going to stay.
No worries. Yeah, I know. It's restream. Okay, so thanks for correcting me about that. Tarima makes contact and conveys the plan for Blue Team to turn the drive online. with the program installed by the last War College training team. And
Which, right. Was
Go ahead,
Bobby
Donkey.
on that training, or did he just know about it because
I think he just knew about it.
Yeah, so that part did kind of feel a little like contrived almost, where it was just like, well, we had this set up from last time. They just ran out of time. And I'm kind of like, okay. I mean, it was
plot convenience for sure.
Yeah, plot is very convenient, like plot convenient, and I'm like, okay. I mean, again, pass, but at the same time, it's like, okay.
It's not important.
Details not important.
Nope. So then Caleb proceeds to tell the computer to bring up main engineering and to Bobby to run the tiny fireflies.
The computer.
He was poor
just,
computer.
I don't care. Just do what you're told.
Stupid machine. I'm expecting him to hit a console or something. They were under a little bit of
pressure, though. I mean,
I know, and
just
it was,
a little.
It was so funny. They made the computer read the comic, and it was just scanning page, like it's dial-up over here. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah, like
just it all in one go, and be ready to roll.
It must have been because still slow from being put back together by Sam.
The poor computer has ADD.
It got outread by Mr. Johnny 5, the poor computer.
Johnny 5, yes.
But I digress.
No, sorry, that's not important. Let's move on.
Okay. So blue team is attacked, and Tarima rips out her inhibitor and goes full-blown Banshee on the Furies, kind of saving blue team's lives, but rendering herself into a coma.
I was immediately thinking Carrie. I'm not sure if you guys seen that movie, Carrie. There's two versions. There's the one with Anyway, it's just basically about a girl with like. It's a horror movie made by Stephen King about this girl with like sort of Jean Grey sort of not telepathic. What's the other telekinesis powers? No, she can move shit with her mind, and then in the film she ends up having a prank played on her at the prom, and people throw like red like blood on her and stuff like that, and she loses her fucking mind and starts killing everyone in the prom afterwards. You know what I mean? It's fucking crazy. And so that's the first thing I thought of was Carrie when she started screaming and killing all the Dementors.
Yeah, that part that Dana Vance just mentioned.
That is
all the communications down between the ships, but Vance can project. Dadmiral can project himself.
And so here's my only retort to that. I don't know. Like, I don't think they said this. Here's my only retort to that is I wonder if Starfleet Academy was out of the jammer range. They just couldn't communicate with the ship because they said they could communicate with Starfleet Academy. So maybe they were outside of the jam range, but like obviously the jamming around the actual like ship was up. That's the only thing I have, and as I said, I don't even think they said anything about it, but that's my headcanon as to why they could, like, why that could happen. But I'm sure, I'm sure Rick B noticed it right away, and and
he also caught the uniforms.
Don't go on that side.
Which I think that's just the art team trying to make it more recognizable as a Star Trek comic to the fan base and show them something they'd be accustomed to looking at.
Yeah. We mentioned that earlier, Rick B, but it's not
maybe it was maybe the comic was a period piece based on a more recent event. You know how we do that? Like you do Romeo and Juliet. Like what was it? What was that one? Romeo in Love or whatever it was with Leonardo DiCaprio. What was it? Was that the one?
It was just called Romeo and Juliet.
It was called. It was called Romeo and Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet, but it's in modern day. But like it actually is a story from before. This is the opposite.
Everything about the film is exactly the same script as Romeo and Juliet, but the setting.
Yeah, they use guns instead of swords
and rapiers. Yeah.
But yeah,
they bust a Capua in that ass. Piece. I got to smile at a donkey with it. Excellent. My joke worked. All right, so let's move on.
Sorry, just And how none of these guys seem to carry, or I don't understand either, Rick B. But maybe because
I grew up under a rock.
I'm
That's how.
I'm a very versatile
rock
nerd.
more Donkey was
That's
under.
the difference. Anyway,
Yeah.
I just don't watch a ton of movies and was sheltered a lot growing up.
We're Americans.
Horror's not on my.
We only want to watch The Patriot.
Here, real quick on Carrie. I did see part of one of the movies, like late at night on the rabbit ears. While I was also
which I have not seen.
watching Gene Roddenberry's other sci-fi show,
Babylon 5?
The original Carrie had
Final
Sissy,
Conflict.
The original Carrie has Sissy Speck in it, and that's a really good one. But then they made the remake, I think, in it's got.
I just remember what she has all the
famous.
blood all over her. Yeah. Anyway,
it's got
enough of that.
Chloe Grace Moretz, who was in Kick-Ass as Hit Girl.
Kick-Ass.
Okay.
Yeah.
So moving on to the hostage situation, that kind of starts off with the away mission training simulation to the ship graveyard. That's a joint operation with the War College on the USS Miyazaki.
Mitsubishi.
It's gonna be the Mitsubishi from now on, just so you know. I mean,
yeah, it's just like Pelias Hocus Pocus.
Yeah,
it's a term of endearment.
Yes.
So this ship featured a singularity drive, which was an experimental warp alternative, as Donkey pointed out earlier. So a blue team goes onto the ship, and a red team stays behind on the bridge of the Athena to act as their support team. And then they're going to try to get the ship up and running. They have a limited amount of time, and if they fail, the next batch of cadets are sent in.
I thought this would be like a haunted ship, which is a trope of Star Trek, which doesn't get used very often. It's a very limited trope, but we've seen it before. I thought it would be the haunted ship episode, something like that, like some special. I thought it would be like an Event Horizon or something like that, but no, they went a different direction very quickly.
A hint of that with their like skeletal masks.
Well, like they were
phasing in and out.
Yeah,
they behave like Reavers from Firefly.
No, it's different though, because they're pirates. So I thought the ship itself would be haunted with some aspect of it, but then these entities that are which are not part of that ship comes along, and then it just changes the whole dynamic, and then it becomes more of a survival hostage, episode, having to deal with an overpowering force, stuff like that, which we've also seen before in Star Trek. But like I said, this was way more spread out amongst our characters as well. As much as Caleb had a significant part in this, Holly Hunter's character had a bit. Admiral Vance played a significant part of this episode too.
Like this is last week's episode, like that side plot that had like nothing to do with anything, like that stuff. Like this week, the side plot like made a lot of sense to the and it actually mattered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
they
I get
wove
it.
together well.
Yeah, they moved real together. Whereas last week it was so disjointed, and just that's why I really didn't like it, because it just was so bad. Was that last week's episode? What was last week's episode?
Last week's episode was the DS9 episode. With
I'm sorry. The week before that, I'm sorry. The week
that was
with the B-plot runner that made no sense about the rehearsal dinner.
That was last week's episode. Okay, I did not like that side plot at all. I chose to ignore it. But this week, the side plot actually makes sense.
For instance, once they brought this up, like how bad did that Starfleet officer taste? They put him in the airlock. What a waste of good meat. But my issue with that character is that we only saw him today. Like I think when Starfleet and the War Fleet were going up against each other, we could have seen him.
I think we had seen him before, but you're right. He wasn't like a front and center character.
Like
Bobby.
If you're gonna if you're gonna like kill off a character like that, then at least this early in the season, this early in the show, then put him in a couple of earlier episodes so that when we do see him cop it means a bit more. Because I knew he was going to.
This was like our nurse from the last season of Strange New Worlds, where we got like one episode or two, and then
no, I was thinking about the guy from the Star Trek 2009 when they're going to like space jump onto the platform, and like there's the one red shirt guy, and you're just like, oh yeah, you're dead. you're dead.
Well, for me as well, like in Voyager, when Lieutenant Gary decides to do an away mission, well, I ain't seen you since fucking Belana Torres took your fucking job, you motherfucker. So you're dead. You know, like it's just shit like that pisses me off. It really does. It's so in your face. You know. Anyway.
Any other thoughts about this section of the intro? This plot?
I do. Daniel Vance's comment. Is that what we're heading towards next?
Yes, the introduction of Lieutenant Commander Tomov and being in command.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so they end up getting life support back online via Caleb using some programmable matter. They get hailed immediately by the Furies, who have taken the blue team hostage and are ransoming them for like 30,000 bars of latinum.
Which I knew at that point, I knew something was up because it felt very like Speed, like there was something else going on. You know, like the 30 bars of gold pressed latinum, like that's not what this is about. You know what I mean? Like I was like, there's something else going on here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Captain Ake is constantly kind of feeling the same way throughout the episode, which I'll get to in a little bit.
I might be a lanthanite at heart. I don't know.
They do like
Could
these
be.
evil aliens that like to eat people in this period of Kurtzman's Trek, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they really made the
tasty flesh.
I know the Gorn had been around before, but they really emphasized them in Strange New Worlds, and now these guys, these Dementor guys, they like to eat their fucking hostages as well.
Yeah, definitely a little bit of fixation there. But yeah, these weird aliens that you're calling Dementors, in the show, they're called Furies, and they're a alien human hybrid, and we'll find out what they're hybridized with later. The Admiral hollow calls in inexplicably and suggests that they ask Nuspraka for help, and that he has a weapon that works against the Furies. I kept thinking that too, Rick B. I hate that I agree with you or have something in common with you, but I thought the same thing.
With the dialogue?
No, he's. I think he was talking about the
furries. The comments. Furries.
I thought that too, but it's just because it sounds like
low hanging fruit. Come on, guys. I would never take such a cheap low hanging fruit joke ever.
And look, regarding like the way they talk to each other, Rick B, like when these guys are not necessarily working, like when they're having their social time and stuff like that, when you see like the TNG guys playing poker and stuff, you know, they do speak a bit more loosely. You know, they're not always so regimented all the time. You know, they do know how to hang out and just be social.
And I mean, they talk like for the 80s and 90s, they talk to each other like we talked to each other in the 80s and 90s. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand.
Would you rather you make up weird English Chinese hybrids like they did in Firefly?
Yeah, we talked about this last week.
And stuff like that.
We're just like, you know, let's just. We are using the universal translator to our ears, so it makes more sense to us. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
Why would they use their literal idioms from their own planet when it's getting universally translated?
No.
They wouldn't hear that.
I'm sure. Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, yes, the language. Okay, it's whatever. Who's to say it couldn't circle back around from now to the 32nd century? But I don't care about that. The needle in a haystack comment. So not only did the fist bump survive through the 31st century, but needle in a haystack survived as well.
Well, we know there are haystacks. We've seen haystacks in the TN. I think in TNG.
And also, you know, even in TOS, my God, how many of those fucking aliens were basically like modern, or like the hippies of the 1960s,
the Wild West planet, and
playing their fucking guitars and their daddy-os and shit like that.
Even the caretaker, like in the Delta Quadrant, was on like an old
old timey porch,
yeah,
and
old
on a
timey
farm.
porch.
Did he have straw in his mouth?
No, look, I'm thinking more like I'm thinking more like stuff like when Riker shaved his beard in Insurrection, and he went up to Data and goes smooth as a baby's bottom. Like,
see, that's another saying that does that still exist?
Yeah.
In the far
So,
future,
but that's the thing is like babies still have bottoms in the third in the 23rd century. But that's what I mean. No, but I'm agreeing with you. It's like
we resurrect things that people said long ago.
Yeah, the fist bump. It's like we still have hands in the 24th century. Like it's
not everybody.
Okay, but all humans do, and I mean a lot of the races that we see have hands. All right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm glad Daniel Vance brought this up because where is it? Let me get it. What the hell?
90% of all aliens are related to Rain Robinson in the 32nd century, Sarah Silverman's character from Voyager. That's why they all sound like they're from the Valley.
And also from the Valley, which is an issue I have because all fucking aliens in Star Trek have got American accents. But you don't pick up on that
different
shit,
accents.
I
mean, Luna has a different accent.
Yeah. It's all good to pick. Oh, look, there's that one.
No, there's a couple there that have different accents.
The Kionian has a British accent. Zam, you just think all Americans sound the same.
Yeah. I just say majority of aliens, not the fucking tokens. Oh, look, there's one from this series. Oh, look, there's one from that season 25. Majority of aliens all have fucking the Betazoid and the fucking Vulcan. Even when he's trying to speak neutral, you can still hear the fucking Yankee Doodle coming out of his fucking voice. All right, let's move on. Sorry.
Okay. So the blue team breaks free.
Oh, we can't hear you.
We lost you, Mage. I don't know what.
I had to mute myself to tell Scarlet the dog needed to go out a second ago, and I didn't unmute. My bad. So blue team breaks free, but Lieutenant Commander Tomov has to sacrifice himself, and Kyle is injured. But I'm sure Donkey was very distraught at that moment.
I was worried.
Goddamn Kyle.
I was expecting Jaden to do some doctor shit. No,
me too, and he didn't.
I was expecting that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I will heal you with my honor.
They get to the bridge, but they're quickly pursued, and the aliens start hammering at the door outside and cutting through it. Sam begins to repair the ship's fragmented computer, and
she sure did. She just went.
Shoves her hand right in it.
I'm gonna finger you.
Listen. If she would have said that, I'm gonna finger you. If she would have said that, I would have agreed with everything Daniel Vance has said about this show so far. Like that would have ruined it.
Look at that poo she left in my fucking.
Yeah. Genesis on the bridge of the Athena comes up with a plan to find the cloaked ship by using a slow-moving probe. That's where we get the needle in the haystack line.
Yeah, it's like a needle in a haystack, and all the haystacks are made.
All made of needles.
Which makes no sense because then you can find the needle easily because it's a stack of needles.
Because they're all needles.
Yeah, unless you have to find a specific.
But you're looking
specific
needle, then it's almost impossible. On the Miyazaki, the away team tries to convince the computer that's. I'll have to change it in my notes. I'm sorry. On the Mitsubishi, they try to teach the computer using the comic book that the crew is actually dead.
They just have the digital, here you go.
Well, he had it in his combat. I mean, they got everything in their comm badges and their deltas.
The AI computer, how's it supposed to know that this comic book is real and not a work of fiction?
I mean, that's a very good question, but I don't have a good answer.
These are the historical records, computer.
Yeah, in the comic book.
Yeah. It's a good thing they gave it the right
the
comic.
After they uploaded that whole comic, I just wanted the computer to be like, "You are my new friends."
But you're right. Like that computer should have read that comic book within seconds, not fucking turning the page. Yeah, like it should have been Johnny Number 5 pretty much. I think even Data just flicks through a fucking book without even having to read page by page.
What was Gary from the original series episode where he's flipping through the computer database? Should have been like that.
Yeah. Another thing, like when you've got like a hard like hologram with you as well, surely that can hopefully balance things a little bit. Like when you like Data, I know that it's different to an android, but Data was like a great equalizer. Very strong. Even Vulcans. I think sometimes they forget how fucking strong Vulcans are, and they should be able to do like a lot of damage. But the hologram in this felt very weak. He should be able to kick ass.
She processed all the data to get the computer going.
Look, I mean, this is like another thing as well. Like, I know I'm really going to go back here, but Star Trek 3, when David died, surely, is it Savick? Savick should have taken on that fucking that Klingon because she's way stronger than the Klingon. She's a fucking Vulcan. They're fucking superhuman. But,
and in some canons, they say that actually she was a Romulan, but still same difference. But just if you believe the fan theories.
Anyway,
Daniel Vance has an explanation for the comic being accepted as a historical data. So, yay.
The Starfleet Comic Code Authority.
UPC symbols on the back of the comic. All right.
They're going to sell it.
Sure.
What's wrong with you?
Tales of the Frontier. So they get the force field online right after a hand with a phaser comes through and is about to start shooting at them. And
yes, I would have.
The Amanda Street Command hologram. Yeah. It would have been a great nod to Voyager.
Like the little tap there. All right, so motherfuckers. And then she ends up like going like Uma Thurman from Kill Bill. Yeah.
All of a sudden, she gets all serious and like stoic and.
Honestly, I would love for that to happen to her. Like a whole suit turns into like Bruce Lee's outfit, yellow with the black stripe, and she just starts kicking ass. Oh my god! And her hands turns into fucking guns.
It needs to be
like
command
shoots
red.
out holographic bullets. I don't know. Like Picard did. In fucking First Contact.
That does that does pose the question about why couldn't she just create a gun? And then shoot them if like even if the bullets disappear because they're holograms, like they'd still be as long as they're within a certain range, they would still be bullets.
Yeah, we're talking about a hologram which is like a 1,000 years ahead of the First Contact period. So yeah, they should be able to have the technology to do that shit now.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck up with you, girl? Jesus Christ! I'll put you back in the case. She's going nuts, man. You're nuts. You're nuts.
Sandwich?
Nuts.
Okay. Nutty Bird is a nutter. So the kids end up with a phaser, but Tarima ends up sending the instructions, and the blue team turns on the singularity drive just as the Furies burst through. And as we have said earlier, they killed Bobby, the Vulcan kid, and they damaged Sam.
I want to point out Oh, go ahead.
No, you finished, Cheeto.
I just want to say I wanted to point out a continuity error. Did you guys notice that Bobby's blood was red?
No, it was green. He was bleeding out of his mouth.
But if you look at when he got shot, red blood came out of the back out of his back. I had to go back and rewind. I had to go back.
Maybe there was a filter on.
Yeah. I know. As I said, but
No, good catch, Cheeto.
Everyone, look, Rick B, they've been sounding like they're from Southern California since TOS.
It's almost like it's filmed somewhere right in that vicinity, like
yeah, like Starfleet Academy's in San Francisco. Just say
it's called a willful suspension of disbelief. It's something that you're supposed to have to try to enjoy fiction.
Error not found.
404 file not found. So, but Sam's going to need a specialist, but she'll be okay. But she was also damaged in that attack.
I was surprised the doctor wasn't helping her when they got back to the ship.
I mean, he may not know much about that part of the engineering of it. You know what I mean? Like he may know, but
he's 1,000 years old now.
Yeah.
Yeah, he might know about betazoids, but that's all like that fucking thing inside there. That's a whole different thing.
Well, he probably knows more about that than he does about Sam's holographic matrix.
Oh yeah,
Sam. Sorry, I apologize. I thought you meant the betazoid girl whose name I can't even remember yet.
She's Tarima.
Okay.
Just real quick, we'll touch on the kind of psychological tete-a-tete between Nusbraka and Captain Ake, and then we'll get to our final thoughts and ratings.
I thought Ake was going to punch him in the face.
Yeah.
Punch her in the face.
Braka.
Punch Nusbraka.
But when Braka appears and he says, "Sorry, Mom and Dad," that was good. He's funny.
He is very funny. Paul Giamatti brings a very unique thing to the villain. Hey,
this was what.
Go ahead, Sam.
What was good about this is that he brought intelligence to his bad guy, because he was just a raging nutcase in episode 1 in the pilot. But I thought this time around he really brought something different to the game. You know, he would play mind games with Holly Hunter and Vance. He really was. He was trying to get under their skin. Obviously, they needed him. How he assumed they needed him. I mean, how he was hoping that they would take his advice. It was a bit of a gamble, but it paid off, obviously, and stuff like that. And
yeah, he was.
This was good. This was really good for the character to be a smart bad guy, not just a vicious bad guy.
He was playing 3D chess, and they were playing checkers. He really got one up over them.
Yeah,
he was always a few steps ahead, letting on that he wasn't. And Ake seemed like she had figured him out, and that he was up to something, and that she knew what he was up to. So she starts bullying him when they're
the back and forth with the bullying. Yeah,
but, it was a nice twist.
No, I did have one issue in all of this, which is more of a continuity thing. No, not continuity thing, but this. Look, Vance was playing a hologram because he was back on the base, so that's how they saw him as a hologram. But there's one point where you see his hand leaning on the table, you know, in Holly Hunter's quarters or whatever. And I thought to myself, why the fuck is he leaning on the table?
Well,
if
maybe he's leaning on his desk back on wherever Starfleet HQ's at.
Maybe the holographic
which just happens to be the
or
same.
maybe programmable matter is just creating the environment around him.
That part. Yeah.
Huh?
That's what I was thinking.
I guess.
I thought for sure I saw him walk through the table at one point, which I thought was...
That was in the previous episode, but
as a hologram.
That was in the previous episode, which is why when I saw him leaning against the table when they're all discussing stuff, like he's in the same room with them, but as a hologram, but he's leaning against the table. For that's a bit. I'm not liking that. I pick up on that.
Oh, well, that's interesting to know, Daniel Vance. Thank you.
Can you read that out?
Sure, yeah. A sargasso is an area of space filled with derelict vessels. It's also the only sea on Earth to not touch land. Filled with sargassum weed, it can stop ships dead in the water. It was also the name of the ship they sent from the Starbase J-19 Alpha. So very cool stuff. Thank you, Daniel Vance.
Do you find it weird that you got parts of space with fucking clouds in it, like where the fucking graveyard was? Like, there's all these fucking clouds there.
Oh, they're nebula. That's nebulae gas and stuff like
It
that.
just reminds me.
Yeah,
it
they're
reminds
just
me-
gas that hasn't coalesced and formed a star or a planet or
Yeah.
other celestial body yet.
It just reminds me of the space you see in No Man's Sky.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They just released a big update. I'm gonna get back on it.
Oh snap! I might have to hook up the PlayStation.
Yeah, we should all fucking play
play.
together because I want to play with you guys.
Let's do it.
Sounds like a plan. But we've kind of touched on everything except for Starbase 19 getting sacked and presumably their top secret weapons tech has been stolen by Noose Braca and the Vernari Raw.
I didn't. This might have gone over my head. I didn't realize any of that fucking happened.
It was crammed in at the end when Vance
Yeah.
is telling Ake about what happened, and so it's just a throwaway line about it, but it's going to be important down the line, I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm.
For me, like even though
conspirator on the Sargasso because of that encrypted message that was sent.
No, I think that was Braca who sent the message to
the Vernari Raw in cloaking that they thought was
okay.
just a Fury ship.
Gotcha. I thought that was sent to the Sargasso, like there was someone on the inside, but
no, they went kind of fast at the end when they were tying up all the loose threads, and so it'd be easy to miss stuff if you didn't watch it twice and pause and take notes and everything, like some sort of big nerd.
Like just don't the communication. Like even though this is a PP episode, like those dialogue moments were really good. Really good. You know,
good character building. We find was
so
great. We find out about her choosing to sacrifice her own son and choosing her crew and duty over him. It's good character development and good reveal of character motivation. I feel like.
But no, around something else you're doing, you? Well, yeah, I guess. But if that's the best criticism you can come up with, Rick B, then you're having a poor day at the office. Come on, Rick B, you like this episode for fuck's sake. You're not even shitting on this episode. You like this episode, and this is what you're coming up with today.
Does anybody else have any final thoughts about this episode, or do we want to go ahead and mark it?
Yes, the fact that Braca called it bureaucratic chlamydia.
Yeah,
that was great.
You figure chlamydia would be like cured in the 31st century. That's another thing
for his species.
Maybe it's like baldness. Maybe in the future nobody cares.
I like the way that he said when he was drinking whatever he was drinking, said it tastes like cat piss on the aftertaste. Like
I mean, tequila does. So
I wonder if he just said something that like threw the universal translator for a loop, and it's just like cat piss.
Oh my!
I'll tell you what. I'm not necessarily appreciating is. So what's the name of the other division? You got Starfleet in the war. What's the war division
College?
called? Is that their leader, that captain with the weird straight flat Roman nose? Like he just seems a little bit incompetent. You know, like he doesn't. Like I think he needs to offer more. Make you're in charge of this group, and you're just standing there listening to people. You bring nothing to the table. Yeah, and I really felt like him.
Maybe he just got the cushy job because of nepotism. Maybe his dad was like.
Well, maybe yeah, but I just wanted, like, in this particular scenario where they needed to deal with a threat and they had to be aggressive. You would have thought that he could have offered something more, and everything came out of Holly Hunter's character and Starfleet was he was just standing there like a fifth wheel. It's just I didn't really appreciate him. They got to use him better or kill him off.
Damn.
Wow.
I mean, he didn't have very much aside from his little speech at the beginning to both sides of the school, both schools.
He was just kind of there.
He tells them, "Well, my cadets know what to do," and then they do their whole little secret command thing. And he's there on the bridge when the cadet master is in command, I guess, but he's talking them through the plan and signing off on it. Like, I don't know what sort of power he has in that situation. It's not a shared ship. It's Starfleet Academy's ship. So,
I just
he told them to go run with the plan.
I'm just thinking that I just want to see some more tactical nous coming from him. If anything,
Mm-hmm.
like they were in a dire situation, and he seemed like the person who should know how to deal with this. And he just was just standing around.
Kind of leaned on Admiral and Arcade.
Vance and Holly Hunter. I keep calling her Holly Hunter. Eventually, I'll get her name correct, right? But Vance and Holly Hunter were they were the ones who were like deliberating and trying to figure it out, and he did nothing. He didn't even demand to be in the same room with Holly Hunter when Baraka, what is that you say his name? Baraka was there, considering it was his fucking students who were on the line as well. So
and he's the one that lost 2 cadets.
I'm not there yet, Daniel Vance. Yeah. He lost. Yeah.
Mage, I thought your subtitle said nuts, Braca.
You do me the service.
At first. Sleep mode activated.
All right.
Yeah, he's okay. Zam, do you want to give it a mark?
I did enjoy this episode. It's weird in a way because I had a good time with this episode. I really did. And despite my flaws with it, they weren't that much of an issue for me. But at the same time, it's weird because like the Klingon episode, I gave it a straight 10, but that's because my expectations were down here, and it went beyond my expectations, which is why I gave it a 10. And then when the following episode didn't reach any expectations, I gave it a negative mark of a 4. This time round, I want to give it a good mark. I'm stuck. I can't give it a 10 for some reason. Something within me just won't give it that 10. But I think maybe even a 9 could be a little bit too high, so I'm going to give it an 8. I did have a good time with this episode. I did. So it gets an 8 from me.
Okay. Lord Donkey.
I can see what you're saying because this was a good episode. Is it one that I don't know. Is it one that I will rewatch? I don't know. So yeah, that is the the bullet points in my rating system. Will I rewatch this and enjoy it? I'm struggling between an 8 and a 9. I'll give it a 9.
Give it a 9. All right.
But sorry, can I also add that like the Klingon episode is a very clever episode, a very thought-provoking episode, which is why I give it such a high mark. An episode like this, which is a bit more frills and spills, more eye candy, not all of that. It was very clever. Actually, I am going to give it a 9 because the moment between Braca and Hunter were really clever. So I do want to up it, actually. But an episode like this, which is a bit more frills and spills, is always going to be just entertaining generally because it's visual eye candy. So, which is why I can't give it that 10 because the design of this episode is already going to be an entertaining episode. But regardless, it gets a 9 because it was still a very clever episode. Regardless, it was a clever episode, regardless of being entertaining. So it gets a good mark.
Okay.
9,
sorry, Shito.
Yeah, a 9 or a 10 for me is something. If it's on, I wouldn't turn it off. So this one, Anyway, go ahead.
My turn.
Cheeto's turn. Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, one more thing.
I'm gonna give it a 9. Actually, I really enjoyed this episode. Besides the beginning part, which was a little off-putting, but once we got past that, little nitpicks here and there that I can't really count against the episode as a whole. But no, I thought it was a good episode, the good pew pews. I mean, and you guys are right. Like, you can't have every episode that's like a pew pew, but a good pew pew episode. I felt like they gave this episode a chance to breathe because, as I said, it was over an hour long. Well, I mean, including credits, I think. But like, they gave this episode room to breathe, and that's one of the things that Orville season 3 did very well, was that they let their episodes breathe. Some of them were 60 minutes, some of them were an hour and 15, some of them were almost an hour and a half long, hour and a half minutes long. Like,
yeah, they were like, that long, and we were doing double headers.
I still need to get season. Back to that.
But that's what I'm saying, is just like, like, I feel like they let this episode breathe so that it could actually, like, to me, nothing really felt rushed. I get that there was an info dump at the end, but I felt like, honestly, a lot of that stuff wasn't relevant to this story. Like, it was the ramifications of what happened there, but at the same time, we know, like, Nusbraka got one over on them, and he got stuff that he wanted. You know what I mean? It may come that, what he got may come into factor later, but that doesn't matter today. So I actually felt like this episode was really well paced and really well done, and I feel like everybody had. The only one thing that actually I did want to mention and I forgot was the freak out. I call her the freak out student, the one that's always freaking out when anything goes wrong.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Why is
she the one that ran?
She's the one that's like, they killed him. They killed him.
She's not Donald Trump.
Huh?
No. She reminded me of that crazy girl who got killed in Starship Troopers when she realized she was in over her head.
And I mean, that's the thing. Like, so I get what they're doing there. They're showing that not everybody is cut out for Starfleet, but at the same time, it's like they're really hammering this home. Like, I feel like after this episode should have been her last episode. If they, like, she should have been like, I just can't do this anymore. I'm, resigning. I'm going back to Earth. I'm leaving the academy. I'm going to do the botany field, or so, something like more domestic, where she, Starfleet is just not her thing. But like,
you're stay on Earth. Just stay on Earth.
Yeah, like, or even just like stay. Like, she can't be out there in the unknown adventuring. So that was my only other gripe. But that's kind of been overarching because she's had she's the one who swallowed the comm badge in the first episode, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, are you touched or something? Like, touched with the sickness? Like, what is wrong with you? So I don't know. That character is kind of getting on my nerves. I didn't take it away from the episode because it was a very brief moment, but
yeah, I totally forgot about it.
I'm like, she needs to go. Anyway, but yeah, no, I will give it a 9 out of 10 just because, as I said, besides those little nitpick things that I can't really hold against it too much, it's really good.
All right. I am also going to give it a 9. I really enjoyed this episode. I feel like it struck a nice balance between the action and the psychological battle between Nusbraka and Captain Ake. I really enjoy Paul Giamatti acting as Nusbraka. And like Zam said, he brought an intelligence and a cunning to the character this week that makes him all the more dangerous. But no, well paced. I wasn't looking at the time left on the episode like I often do. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, and the bad guys won. I mean, come on,
the bad guys won like an empire. Come on.
I'm glad they didn't wait till the penultimate episode to do this too. Like, I'm glad they did it a little bit early, so then we can get 1 or 2 more episodes, and then we can get that finale episode. That's probably going to be.
No, Vaughn said something very a lot earlier, which I said I wanted to talk about a little bit later, which was he said he said this. He said the death will help bond both colleges together. They both experience the loss in some way. I agree, and I also disagree. I mean, it could bring them together. At the same time, each group might blame each other for the loss of their friend. It could work both ways. I'm hoping, sometimes could be disaster, all of that. Electroexploitation. Welcome to the stream. But something devastating like that can bring you together. But sometimes it could, bring people apart. It's very hard to say. I hope it brings them together, though. I really do. Because this is like
definitely for Caleb.
like, this is like a real major moment. This is like not pranks in school anymore. This was some serious shit. And at one particular point, I also thought this, all when these Dementors came on and stuff like that, I thought this was just maybe part of the trial, but they're pretending it not to be. But they really,
I agree with you. I thought that for a moment too when they first started coming on and they were all wearing masks. I'm like, oh, this is going to be some kind of. But then like
they nipped it in the bud very quickly.
Yeah, but then when what's his face died, I'm like, okay. I mean, if they're playing this, then they're this is like the new Kobayashi Maru. You know what I mean? Like, I would love to see like if they updated the Kobayashi Maru. And this was like that would have been a good way to do it. But at the same time, it almost.
Do you want the Kobayashi Maru or do you want the Mitsubishi?
Ooh, I want something new. I want the Mitsubishi Maru.
Is okay. See, I want
What's
the Mitsubishi
the ship's actual
Mirage.
name again?
The Kobayashi
the Miyazaki.
Maru. Oh, Miyazaki.
Miyazaki. Yeah. Okay.
Like the animator.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Yeah,
so you.
So I just say I'm very glad that they did make us think twice. Oh, this is actually part of the game, but they were just pretending it wasn't. No, they nipped that in the bud immediately, so we knew that these guys who had come on the ship are for real. So I'm glad they did that as well.
Yeah, definitely established some stakes early in the episode, which gave it some weight and some heft. But this has been our review of Starfleet Academy Season 1, Episode 6. I want to thank everybody who joined us in chat. I want to thank my co-hosts, Zam, Lord Donkey, and Cousin Cheeto. We've got a lot more that you should check out here on NerdTube, so definitely subscribe to the channel. We've got SmackDown maybe tomorrow?
SmackDown
tomorrow. Over the weekend, unfortunately, because of time zones and stuff like that. Unless SmackDown are in our part of the world, the WWE, then it's easy for me to pull out a review a lot quicker. But unfortunately, it being behind in time for me, it means I have to probably do the review over the weekend. But I'll be trying to get one out as soon as I can. And regarding Tilly, it's weird.
I thought she was going to be way more a part of this series than she actually was. We can talk more about that, but
she should have been. But...
I think we shouldn't be holding out on when we will see her. But when she comes, she comes. Trekploitation gives it an 8. We all gave it 9s, mate. But we gave Trekploitation liked it as well. Good to know.
Excellent.
We'll be back next week for some more stuff, by the way. So please,
absolutely,
give us a sub and a notification.
We'll pop up and let you know when we go live, which is usually about 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thanks for joining us, friend. Thanks to
definitely
Daniel
check out.
Vance.
We do Star Trek fan films as well. So we haven't done some in a while, but there's a whole playlist of fan films, and a lot of them are Star Trek fan films. So we don't do them. Yeah. We react to them. Sorry, I don't want to make it seem like we create fan films.
Some of us.
We have one of the best Klingons in fan films, though.
Mm-hmm.
No, we actually several of us, 3 of us, have been in fan films. So we are actors as well.
I am not an actor. I am a attempter.
You have acted.
I attempted. There's a difference. Anyway, take us home, Mage.
You've been watching NerdTube, the greatest channel that you maybe sort of kind of heard of. Take care, and thanks for watching.